All right, Skags, we're live. Yo, what's going on, family? Can everybody go ahead and drop what city they're tuning in from? Yo, we're about to go ahead and get this stream started within the next 2 to 3 minutes. I just need every single one of you guys to go ahead and drop what city you guys are tuning in from. I want to go ahead and shout you guys out. So, without further ado, drop them cities. Send this link out to anybody that needs it, and let's go crazy. Yo, family, I need everybody to drop them cities in the chat. What city are you guys calling in from? I'm gonna give you guys about 2 more minutes. Go ahead and drop them cities. Go ahead and send this link out to your chats. Let's make sure everybody's on this call, guys. Forex Weekly Market Outlook is going live in 2 minutes. Drop them cities. One more minute, family. Keep dropping them cities. I see Nigeria in the building. Shout out to Nigeria. Shout out San Diego. Shout out Bahamas. I see Charleston in the building. I need all of you guys to drop them cities, or else we ain't even getting started. Yo, what's going on, family? I'm gonna go ahead and start this call off. Without further ado, I need each and every single one of you guys to drop your cities in the chat. This is gonna be a really hands-on call. We're gonna be able to answer all of you guys' questions. I see a lot of you guys already dropping your cities. Shout out to San Diego, North Carolina, Atlanta, okay, Rhode Island. I see Michigan, California, a lot of Cali. Shout out to Cali, Dayton, Ohio, Trinidad. Shout out to Trinidad. You guys already know. Anybody from Trinidad, drop Trinidad if you're from Trinidad. Appreciate you guys. Always hit me up, guys, because I'm gonna be honest. I love my Trinidadians. I'm Guyanese myself, so I'm always eating doubles, man. Shout out to the doubles, right? Miami in the house, Chicago. Shout out to Jay Swizzy, another beast, phenomenal trader that I actually had the pleasure of growing through this journey with, right? So don't be surprised if you see Jay Swizzy on one of these sessions real soon. It's crazy because she was literally trading the same time as me when I got started, and we're both growing daily, every single day on this journey together. So it's good to see you on this session. I see NYC. Shout out to Michelle, another person that's been on this journey with me that I've seen grow personally at an astronomical rate. So shout out to you. Stockton, California, New Mexico. For any of you guys that are new to the channel, just know, guys, on this channel, the Profit Society, we have about 4 educators, we have about 4 traders, and honestly, we've been trading in these markets now, some of us for 8+ years, right? Shout out to Skaggs, which we'll be speaking on this call, educating you guys in a second. He's been trading for 8+ years, 7 to 8+ years. Abel Melendez, a lot of you guys know him as Mr. Sauce, right? We also got my brother, Mr. Wall Street Ray, and also me, myself. My name is Kyle Prasad, aka Kyle Hustles on all socials. I've been trading for the past 3.5, almost 4 years, guys. I actually got started when I was 15. Honestly, guys, I can't tell you guys the amount of pain, the amount of trials and tribulations I've received in order to be here standing to teach you guys here today. But I'm gonna tell you guys here right now, it was all worth it. And if I could do it, you guys could do it too. So again, we have about 4 traders. We go live about 4 times a week exactly, and sometimes we go live even more when there's news releases. And this week may be a week that we might have to go ahead and do that. So we go live on Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern for the weekly market outlook, and on this same channel Tuesdays through Thursdays. So Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, we're going live for 9 a.m. for 8 a.m. actually 8 a.m. So at 8 a.m. We are going live to actually go ahead and trade New York session. So for any of you guys that trade New York session and you want an outlook on what we're looking at on the markets every morning, Tuesday through Thursday, we do that as well. Now I'm actually going to go ahead and put up the economic calendar because again, we go live so many times that a lot of the times we go live extra when there's extra news releases, when there's high impact news to give you guys more insight on the outlook and the bias and the sentiment of the fundamentals and what's going on in the market, right? In the economy. And I want you guys to go ahead and subscribe to this channel, especially if you're new. Go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell, put on the notifications, drop a like on this video too, because it's free. We drop free value for you guys for the past 4 months. So a like is free. We appreciate it. And with that being said, honestly, I want to hear a little bit from you, Skaggs. Skaggs, bro, what do you think about this upcoming economic week? How do you feel about the fundamentals? And I really just want to hear your insight on how this week might look out. Honestly, I see a lot of red folders. I see a lot of high impact news. I see potentially retail sales. I also see something coming out on Tuesday that I'm really excited about. So also FOMC. We got a lot of news. So Skaggs, bro, how are you feeling about the news this week?
Yeah, what's good, bro? How you feeling? Do me a favor real quick on the Zoom, bro. Just make sure you kind of make that full screen for everybody. I am sharing the economic calendar here. We don't have too much on the schedule this week, to be quite honest with you guys. The only thing I'm really looking at on here is going to be this Wednesday, December 14th. We are looking at the economic projections and the interest rate decision coming out from the Fed. So that is going to be some important details that happen on Wednesday. Um, on Tuesday, I don't really see anything. We do have inflation rates coming out on Tuesday. So yeah, we do have inflation and economic projections, interest rate decision this week. I don't see anything on Thursday that I would particularly be taking a look at. So yeah, what we are basically looking at is just this Fed meeting on Wednesday. It will be interesting to see what the Fed does, what their next kind of decision here is going to be. A lot of people are expecting possibly, a 50 basis point hike instead of the 75. But what I'm really interested in are those economic projections because Powell has said that they are going to increase the target rates. Um, so I want to see if that is something they've actually done and by how much they have increased it if they do. So yeah, Wednesday will be interesting. I think Wednesday will probably be the last major day of volatility. I mean, the markets might have a little bit more to do before the holidays, but this is really kind of like the last news event that we're looking at before the holiday and New Year kind of turnover. So yeah, excited to see what we get. Family in the chat, let me know if you guys are going to be trading past Wednesday, but Wednesday is probably going to be my last day this year in the markets, if I even take anything at all. All right, because I might not even play in that environment.
Hmm. Well said, bro. Well said. Yeah. I'm excited for the first half of the week. But yeah, past Wednesday, it's kind of gonna be a little bit risk off for me as well, bro. So I'm glad to see that you have kind of sort of the same outlook. Um, for you guys that do want this economic calendar, what's the link? It's profitsociety.co/economic dot dash calendar, right? Let's drop that in the chat for all of you guys. For any of you guys that are unaware, we're building a lot of dope stuff for you guys here at the Profit Society. Alongside economic calendars, right? So, if you guys would like to check out our economic calendar, I just dropped the link in the chat. Feel free to make a free account for you guys that are not on it. And with that being said, I'll go ahead and hop on to the charts for a little bit. Um, first things first, I will just ask for requests. I don't know why it's being so stubborn. Drop some pairs that you guys would like for me to look at. And skags, right? We're gonna really be tag teaming this session. We'll be going back and forth. I think it's really just us two tonight. So we'll be able to answer a lot of your guys' questions. Look at a lot of your guys' pairs. But yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna hop into the dollar though. Um, the dollar. It's that interesting point in time. So I'm gonna go ahead and just clear this out. Now, we've been bullish on the dollar for a long time. And like at the end of the day, it's like I'm kind of scared of this right here. I'm kind of scared that the bleeding is kind of over, right? And there's a possibility of that, right? There's a possibility that, the dollar could be starting to top out, right? And, I'm not here to call tops and bottoms. Obviously, this high, could be the high to take us down, down here. But, at the end of the day, we cannot assume anything until we kind of get a break of this, right? So, possibly we can come off of this monthly kind of stutter candle and start going up, right? Maybe this weekly candle right here can get tapped into, right? Or maybe we could have just gone up from there. But I prefer liquidity to be ran and then an institutional candle to get mitigated off of before we go up. So, to be honest, guys, I'm actually kind of looking a little long to start the week on the dollar, just because of the fact that we did actually call out these sells here in the Profit Society. We were telling you guys that we're looking for some dollar weakness to come in. And, to be honest, since we kind of rode all of these trades down, it would only make sense for me to start off the week, a little bit bullish, right? It would kind of make a lot more sense for me to start off bullish. So, again, I'm kind of starting off the week a little bit bullish on the dollar. I like the reaction that we got last week. Right? I really like the reaction we got off of here. Now, whether that continues is kind of up to the market at this point. You know, this bullish structure kind of isn't, it's not intact yet. So, we got an intraday move, but also be aware, guys, that we can still reject off of this. So there's no clear setup yet, guys. There's no clear setup yet. Your clear setup was on Friday. I went live on my personal YouTube channel, which I kind of caught off some trades for the red folder news off of this. But this was more of something intraday, guys. Right? This was more of something intraday. So in order for me to actually see a clear setup take place, I would like to really see some sort of trading like this. Where's the brush? I need to see some sort of trading like this. So if I were to grab my it's a little bit tricky. Well, can't really use the volume, so I'll take that off. But I would just be looking for something like this, guys. It would kind of need a break above this and then kind of give me something like this in order for me to take a trade this week, right? And then obviously we'll reassess, when we come to these higher levels. But again, since this move is kind of just so obvious already, I like to look long. And then once we come up maybe to here, I think by Tuesday we'll be up here. I will reevaluate the market once we have some more data. Sometimes you guys have to understand that, especially on Sundays and Mondays, it's easy to get the overall general consensus of the bias of the market over a month or 2 months, 3 months, but over like the entire week, we don't know exactly what might happen yet because we can start off the week bullish and then reject off of this candle come Wednesday. So I'm really gonna keep my eyes out on the DXY. I really want to see more data print out, but for now, you know, we have the possibility to break this and then take a long trade somewhere down here, and then once we come up here again, I would be taking some partials, but I wouldn't be closing my entire position. Maybe I'll attempt something here, who knows? But ultimately, my objective is to see this get filled, right? And it doesn't have to do that, but this week would be great if it did that. And that's just all I can really see setup wise. Or it can just come up to here and reject. But that's kind of like my bias on the dollar. For you guys that want to mark these levels, go right ahead. But yeah, that's pretty much what I am looking at here for the dollar. It looks a lot more cleaner on this chart. Come up or do something like that, and then we can reevaluate from here. But again, I like the long, because we've already been short, right? Play the rumors, like my brother Skag says, right? So I like to start off the week long, but again, Tuesday, Thursday, we'll come back and reevaluate. EU, GU, still, these trades that I called out on Friday are actually still kind of running, right? I called out an EU short from up here. Shout out to you guys that took it, right? I like these shorts to continue. I like these shorts to continue. If you guys are in profit on some of those shorts I called out, drop a $sign in the chat. So I called out these EU shorts. I was like, man, it's at the 50% of the candle. On Friday, I was looking for the dollar to start buying up from this region. And, we weren't live on the Profit Society, but, I decided to go live on my personal channel, which is just my name, Kyle Hustles. And I was just like, man, dollar's at a great point. I'd like to buy. This was actually more of an Asian session trade that I dropped in my Telegram. I also dropped it in the Profit Society, and it's still running at this moment in time. I also dropped NZD/USD. Yeah, drop a $sign in the chat if you're in NZD/USD. Now this one, some of you guys may be in it, some of you guys might not be in it. This one actually came up to mitigate this candle. I circled 2 candles for you guys. And, a lot of you guys were playing this candle. I can't even lie, guys. I was playing this candle as well. It actually, got me out. But, if you played this higher candle, you definitely are in profit on this trade. I kind of just focused on EU. I did already catch my profits on this thing. So whatever it decides to do next is kind of up to the market. But if you were to ask me what's going to happen, I would like to see EU again just continue trading down. Come here to take out some of this, and just start off the week bearish, right? I want this to start off the week bearish, and then we will reevaluate once we come down to this 1.03341 level, right? Once we come down into this 4 hour, IC candle. This candle right here is a candle that you guys are gonna really want to pay attention to, right? Because even though we may start off the week bearish, um, you know, again, this level come Tuesday, Wednesday time is going to be very important because it has a decision to make. It can either come down here and then keep going up if the dollar wants to keep selling off, or we can break off of that, and then this would come down to chase even more inefficiency. But yeah, guys, pay attention to these levels here. Pay attention to these levels here, and play into the bearish side to the start of the week, and then once we start getting into that discount zone, I want you guys to start taking some profit off of those sells, right? Not everything, is always, as a good trader, you want to let those winners run, right? You want to really let those winners ride. And sometimes that is the biggest downfall for a lot of people, right? They have a great winning trade, and they are like, yeah, I'm in this sell, but now I'm going to close out of this sell and I'm going to buy, right? And that is, it could work, and sometimes maybe it worked for you, but the most logical way to play scenarios like that you're hedging, is you want to take profit on the sells, but not entirely, And this works vice versa too. Like if you're in buys and then you're looking to sell, this could work in any direction. But just like I always like to hold like about 20 to 30% of my position, for shits and giggles, especially if it's in direction of the long-term trend. So I know a lot of you guys are still holding some positions from EU down here and down here, like Skags or Dennis, or a couple other people I know that are holding this. At the end of the day, what that does is, by you not closing out that position, you can take these shorts and not be scared, and you have at least a portion of your position left that, even if you get stopped out, that can help mitigate risk. So, I mean, I'm going on a little bit of a tangent, and I am dropping some sauce for you guys, but it's really because it truly, truly helped me out myself, right? So with that being said, honestly, again, I just want to feel like GU is going to keep going down as well. I have the same scenario that I have for EU for GU. I want it to keep selling this week until we can come down to this 1.1975, right? 1.1975. That's an important level that you guys need to keep on your radar for GU, right? 1.1975 for GU, 1.0341 or 35 for EU. Gold. Man, a lot of these pairs just look about the same, but I'm just not gonna like give out analysis on every pair. But gold, let's start bearish, right? Let's go ahead and retest off of that, right? Maybe we can get something like this, right? All of these are good risk to reward possibilities that you guys can start the week off with, and maybe end the week off good if you decide or miss some of those entries. USD CAD, man, I would love to see this come right here. I would love to see USD CAD go ahead and keep pushing up to start this week, to ultimately go ahead and clear out this liquidity, right? Shout out to all you guys that caught these sells right here with me, right? Man, I'm telling you guys, the month of November was a blast for me in the markets, man. It was so fun. I was riding crazy swings, taking profits, making withdrawals, and that's why I'm kind of on defense kind of on relax mode December, right? It's really because I had a great November, right? At the end of the day, I'm not really forcing nothing, but it's because we caught this position here on UCAD, and a lot of you guys caught it with me too. I was looking for it to come mitigate off of this, which we did. What's crazy is it literally like happened at 9:30 too. So, it waked up at 9:30. It was like a picture perfect setup, right? This was the New York Open, so it waked up right above the open and went down. So, I mean, I'm just looking for order flow to continue, right? That's really the most that's the best explanation I can give to you guys. I want to see order flow continue. So, you know, this candle took out these highs and then dropped down, and then we mitigated off of that. But the mitigation was basically taking out this liquidity right here. So this would kind of be our last line of defense for UCAD, right? I like to take trades like this because it's protected price action. This is a true institutional candle. If you were to take a position like this, the risk to reward is absolutely beautiful, right? It definitely matches up with the 50% of this candle. So again, this is very protected price action. The risk to reward is very beautiful. It's about a 30 pip stop loss. And at the end of the day, you have a potential for a 550 pip trade, right? So that's a 1 to 17 risk to reward ratio. I actually will tell you guys to put an alert on your chart for the 50% of this candle, which is, I'm gonna give you guys an exact level. Honestly, I really like this trade. There's a lot of great confirmations on this trade. I'm actually gonna tell you guys to take this trade once it comes up here, right? Another confirmation that I have is that this right here is like considered a whole number, right? 750. If you guys use that confirmation, right? A lot of people use it. I don't use it much, but when I see a trade that is good and it has that, that just makes me like it even more. So, at the end of the day, guys, I'm gonna put an alert myself because I'm gonna be taking that trade. I do have this little alert down here, but I just see maybe an intraday, but it's so high up at this point that I'm actually kind of preferring to sell. So, who knows? Maybe we can get something like that. Very picture perfect setup last time on UCAD. So, I'm hoping we can go ahead and get the same this time when we come back up to these protected price levels. So yeah, 1.37750 UCAD, 1.9750 GU, 1.03341. These are just all great markups that I have for you guys. I will end up going ahead and dropping it in the Profit Society community on the website. So for you guys that are signed up and are already on the website, already in the platform with us, you guys will have access to my markups, my trades. You guys will know when we execute and whatnot. And with that being said, honestly, guys, I want to go ahead and pass it off to Skaggs to see what he has for the markets this week. At the end of the day, I want to see what sauce he has for you guys. And, if you guys are not signed up for the Profit Society, go ahead and go to profitsociety.co. And if you guys need help with this or anything like signing up or, getting access to the community, feel free to message me at Kyle Hustles on Instagram and I'll help you out. I've been helping out a lot of people all day get started for this. But once you go ahead and sign up, once you go ahead and go to profitsociety.co, it's free too. We've been doing all these sessions for free. We've been having this community for free, and we're developing an app, right? So just know it's big. So press get started when you go to profitsociety.co. Type in your stuff, get access. It's gonna look like this once you guys get access. All right, look at how amazing this is, right? Look at how beautiful this is. We have trade ideas every day, right? We have our top students dropping trades. We have us reviewing these trades. We got Ray. He just posted a trade 2 hours ago. You guys could have been in there. Some of our top students. And I will go in here and review all of these setups. So if you have a setup that you are iffy about, you want some high level mentorship by some of our top educators, feel free to drop your markups in here. Feel free to drop your ideas in here. And, let's go wild. Let's go crazy this year, guys. But yeah, Skags, I got your screen up on the YouTube. So, bro, go ahead and let them know what you're looking at this week, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go. What's going on, family? Let me get some ones in the chat. Let me make sure you guys could hear me, see my screen. I am currently looking at EU. Like I said, my trading week is going to be pretty late, so I'm mostly here for you guys. I'm going to be taking a more of a step back from the live trading and stepping into more of the educational content for you guys, because the markets are going to slow down. There's really not much that I'm looking to execute off of. You guys know I've been writing the same trades now for about a month or two. If you've been with us, if you're new, that's cool too. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, let me get some ones in the chat. Make sure you guys can hear me, see everything all good. Also, if you guys want to drop some pairs, I will take a look at some different pairs for you guys. But I was going to just do a quick little overview of what I see that's going to potentially happen here on EU this week. Again, we do have this FOMC coming out on Wednesday, and the future path for EU and the dollar, for that matter, is really going to be dependent on what they come out with this interest rate decision, right? If we do get a 50 basis point result here on Wednesday, I'm fully expecting the EU and most dollar pairs to probably continue on their bullish tears, right? So EU is kind of building up more additional liquidity above these two highs here. I mean, order flow in terms of this thing, or just current market structure, as we like to say, is very bullish. I mean, you're creating higher highs and higher lows, all throughout here. And of course, yeah, we said we're building up liquidity, but it's very likely that we do create some sort of other higher low, if not above this area, then probably, at least above here. So even if we do take a bunch of the liquidity that's maybe sitting under this structure here, right, overall, it should still hold. Now, again, I don't really have, and I know people are going to ask me, right? Like, what do I think they're going to come out with, right? Do I think they're going to come out with a 75? Do I think they're going to come out with a 50? And to be quite honest with you guys, I don't have a definitive answer, right? I mean, I'm leaning towards, them heading towards 50, right? We've been kind of talking about this, is why I've been bullish, EU for the past, month, 2 months, is whether or not this comes out at 75, right? Even if it does come out at 75, all that tells me is that the next interest rate decision is going to be like 95% chance coming out at 50, right? If we drop to 50 now, great. Then this is going to just, continue up, break this liquidity up here, and then we'll kind of see what happens. But if they do 75, the initial reaction will be bearish, but I think the market will realize, like, hey, that's the last 75 basis point hike that the Fed's going to do. So I think no matter what, we do look for like a weaker dollar again into the holidays, right? As we head into the holidays, a lot of people think the markets get very choppy, and that's true. They do get, like, less liquid. There's less liquidity flowing, less money flowing, less trades happening. Maybe the moves aren't as volatile. But it either moves annoyingly sideways or very smooth in one direction. So there is also the possibility, again, that it moves very smooth from December 14th all the way out through the new year. That doesn't necessarily mean every day is going to be volatile, but it does mean it will slowly and steadily creep in one direction. So I do see, again, the possibility. Well, first off, like, the liquidity below here is more than likely going to get taken. So this is just going to be like an hourglass for me. We'll kind of take a look at what happens after we break below this level here. But the real question is, how much volume comes into the market below here? Is it going to be enough volume to send us below, this low that I've highlighted here with the arrow? Or are we going to play a little bit deeper? So again, if we're looking at a 75 basis point hike, if that's your firm belief, then again, like these little like trend lines, this is gonna get taken out, right? Price is probably gonna end up stumbling to the point that we come and break below here. Um, if that happens, cool. I'm probably gonna be, a buyer at some point after, a lot of this inefficiency gets filled. So probably, relatively closer back to like these lows. If we do get a 50 basis point, I probably won't partake in the market, because at a 50 basis point, all that tells me is that we're probably going to, again, clear these highs, which is cool because you guys know I'm long-term bullish from way, 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 way down here. And because we'd be taking a lot of higher time frame liquidity here, I'm not entirely sure if I want to be chasing, buys on the breach of that liquidity. So I really won't be playing this unless we get a 75 basis point hike. Again, we push below these liquidity areas enough for us to kind of, break below these inner range lows, but hold the overall market structure. And I'll look to play something again like, like this past the highs and continue my bias. But if we just get a 50 and we shoot straight up and we don't really pierce any lower, I'm probably not going to entertain that. So that's what I see on EU. This is going to be more or less the same thing across the board for GBPUSD and gold and all that fun stuff. Again, if you're looking at, again, this is all just ideas that we never executed on. Just clean this up, right? So same idea on here on GU, right? You're building up a little bit of liquidity above these highs. This one hasn't quite stretched higher. But the question is what happens, again, once we kind of come back below these lows? Are we going to kind of play with some of the action over here? So again, same idea, looking for a push below this area, and then maybe get some demand that comes back in, and then we can start going long again past these highs. Again, this is all based off the fact that they come out at 75 again. If they come out at 50, I'm probably not going to play. Gold. Gold doesn't look quite as nice. Again, continuing to build liquidity at the highs. Right, we've been kind of range bound. Again, like, are these lows here gonna hold? Probably not. So people that are, bearish below here, that's cool. Again, even me, I still think, this gets taken. So we'll have to, again, it's all gonna be depending on what the Fed does. If the Fed gives me that 75 basis point hike and we do get some bullish dollar below these lows, I'm gonna be looking at opportunities to, buy that up past the highs again. That's basically my idea on oil dollar pairs. They're going to be very similar. They're slightly different in current market structure. Again, gold's a little bit more volatile than like GU and EUR, but so be it. That's kind of what I'm looking at. Let me just catch up with the chat real quick and kind of see what's going on here. What's your ideal setup? 3-4 confluences I look for. If I had to sum it up, it's what is the last cycle and what's its relation to the current cycle. Has their liquidity been taken? Is there sustainable or unsustainable effort, which is basically me using volume? And then 4, is it at in what we call like an execution candle or like a POI, as people would call it, right? Is it trading into an order block, a continuation block? Is it playing into some sort of inefficiency? Do we have live OBs, right? All that kind of fun stuff. But those would be like my 4 confirmations in order. So higher time frame and current cycle, liquidity grabs. Wow, how did I just say the 4th one was? I just got so caught up I'm sorry, the 3rd one. I'm gonna draw a freaking blank on the way I just phrased it. But yeah, that's the way I would go through. My mind's been a mess. Let me see. I tried to open a post on the community profit site and it doesn't allow me to do it. DM us on Instagram at profitsociety.co and I will take a look at it for you, Dennis. You should be able to post fairly easily though. There should be really no reason it doesn't let you post inside the main community page. Cody, what's going on, bro? Good to see you on here. Can you check the screenshots I posted? Yeah, we could. I could maybe go pull up some charts from you guys in the community if that's what you guys really want. Oh yeah, there you go, Nico. Thank you, bro. Volume effort. I knew I was drawing a blank. I almost wanted to say volume 4th. Yes, yes, yes. Volume and then POI candle. I mean, to be quite honest with you, I that's almost reversed in a way. It really depends on the time frame you're looking at. If I'm looking at the 4 hour time frame, I probably want to take a look at the effort and the volume first. If I'm on my lower execution time frames and we're already sitting in a POI, I'm probably also as a step 5 looking at that lower time frame volume too. So like there's really no like order of that because it's all relative to the time frame you're currently analyzing, right? Are you looking at the 4 hour to give yourself an idea of what direction you're going to be trading, or am I looking at the 5 minute and the 15 minute for my execution itself? So yeah, I wouldn't take that order as like written in stone, so to say. Devin, what's going on, bro? Good to have you on the call. Let me see. Were there any other pairs you guys wanted? You guys wanted the indices as well. We could take a look at the indices. So we did talk about this stuff last week, right? How we were expecting Nasdaq, and all of these are going to be the same again, family. When I go over Nasdaq, it's going to be the same thing on SPX. It's going to be the same thing um on US 30 as well. Yeah, I couldn't open a post from right either. It says unauthorized. Okay. Yeah, you guys got to report this stuff, and you guys are having problems with the beta. This way I could take a look. And honestly, if you guys are one of the first people in the beta program, that might be why you're having issues. If you're the first 50 people have ongoing issues because the sign up process has been changed. But nonetheless, if you have your free beta account, we do appreciate all the feedback. As far as NASDAQ goes, again, I'm probably still going to look at this level getting taken down here, this 11,400. I know we talked about this last week. We fully expected these, old lows to kind of break. And these did get, toyed with. They did get played with. We talked about this when it was over here at 11,700 before it kind of broke this support. We were just talking about how obvious that this, imbalance and inefficient candle was, how it had no follow through, and how likely it was to spill over. We have played a little bit with the liquidity below here. I do think we have more to do. Again, this is going to really depend on the result from the Fed going into Wednesday. Again, if they do a 50 basis point hike, no matter where we are on the chart, if they do 50, we are going to go up. Right? If they do the 75, it's probably going to see some weakness, but I think ultimately the market will, um, absorb that kind of move, and we will kind of continue up because the market is going to be forward looking after Wednesday, right? Whether we do a 50 or a 75, we know that the road of 75 basis point hikes is we're nearing the end. We're nearing the end. So for every 75 we get, we're one interest rate decision closer to that 50. And a lot of people believe it's this meeting. Again, there's some reason to believe they'll do one final 75 before they go. And I think that's what a lot of this kind of like last 2 weeks selling pressure really is people expecting that potential 75. So the thing is, though, once we break this 11,400 level, there's really nothing inside of here, inside of this POI area that I really want to kind of play. There's really no lone candle. I mean, I can keep manipulating the time frame and going down and until we find something, but there's really nothing inside of any of this inefficiency and imbalance that I specifically would want to play. I mean, this is like our last hope for like, a 15-minute lone candle. So if we do break below these levels, I'm probably not going to base my entry off of the NASDAQ chart, and I'll probably have to look at the EU, GU, and gold and see where they are in relation, and then maybe execute off of that. But preferably, again, I want to wait till after Wednesday, see what the Fed's next move is, and prepare myself for 2023. Right at the end of December here, guys, I've wrapped up a lot of my trading. Again, a lot of my people know this. A lot of the people that are in the community know this. I've been saying it for the past week now. Like I'm wrapping up my trading for the year. And I'm looking at using this news on Wednesday to set myself up for 2023, right? What do I got to do in terms of longer term investments? What do I have to do for, first quarter expectations and so on and so forth? So let's see what we got in the chat real quick. I only have access to yours. Of course, you only have access to mine, bro. There's no other group to have access to. Nobody else has migrated yet. Tax session. We are not CPAs. I cannot do sessions on taxes. It's not a part of what I'm allowed to do. If you're making good money trading, hire a good CPA. End of story. There are people that you literally can pay that will give you advice on that. It's not my field. Everybody's in a different state. You're all structured differently. There's just nothing that I can possibly go over for you guys, right? My best advice is just make sure you save money for taxes, um, and then from there consult your CPAs. So what do I think is going to happen for CPI? When is CPI? CPI is we do have that inflation rate this week, huh? Yeah, no, I expect it to tick down. To be honest with you, I expect CPI to continue a downward trajectory. There's no real reason for CPI to be seeing rises. Um, especially now with the price of oil. I mean, if we take a look at oil, oil is heavily influencing things like core CPI, um, or I'm sorry, CPI in general. Of course, CPI would be without it. Um, and we see that oil is trading down. So as long as oil is continuing down, I have no real reason to think that CPI is going to continue higher. Like we said, like I'm pretty confident that CPI inflation has peaked at that 9% level, right? When we were stagnant at that 8 point whatever, 8.4, 8.3, 8.2, 8.3, 8.4, like we just kept coming out of that lower 8 point something. And again, when you have runaway inflation, it shouldn't pause like that. So the fact that it paused and now we're under 8%, we're about to probably dip to like lower 7%. Again, this just all builds the case for, again, that road of 75 basis points to kind of get cut, right? Kind of leaning towards the Fed doing 50, inflation. Again, inflation remains high. There's no doubt about it. 7% is high. 7.3% is high. 6%, 5%. That's all. It's all relatively high, right? In the grand scheme of things, but it is for the most part again peaked and slowly getting under control, right? They've been telling you their goal for getting inflation underway was like 2024, right? So we're heading into 2023, right? It is under control, which is a matter of getting it down to expectations now, right? And that's what they're going to do all 2023. So expect that trend to kind of continue. They have a hold on it. We would have to drastically have some other stuff happen for CPI to continue to run like that. Let's see. With the 50 basis points, what do you expect to see? 50, I expect everything just to go up. EU up, GU up, gold up, indices up, everything up. I mean, if they do a 50, the market's going to see that as pretty good. Now, whether or not the market wants to continue that strength after the fact is the question, because at that point you might have what's called like an obvious move, like fade off, and that's kind of where like again, like the buyers are not very strong up here. Like, yeah, there is buying happening. There's a lot of liquidity above here, but what's probably going to happen if you do get 50s, you're probably going to spike up into zones like this very aggressively. And then the market's just going to realize that like there's just not enough sustainable demand. Oh, and that's when you leave the kind of the retail traders all kind of confused. When I talk about retail, this is like what I mean. Like when the data suggests one thing but price action does something different. So it's like what I would expect is like if they do come out at 50, maybe we grab this liquidity here, we sit here all week, and then it comes out at 50 and the market just shoots because technically bearish for the dollar, right? You spike up, you hit all this main supply, but now the market looks forward and it's like, okay, well, cool. Everybody sees the 50. That's what all the expectation is, but there's just not enough demand or bigger money interest to chase that, right? Because they want to be leading the market. Like they're no longer leading the market by playing that. So what they'll do is they'll use that news and this fresh liquidity as a way to again not even to entice the retail trader, but the retail trader will naturally be enticed because they'll look at the result more than they're going to look at the effort behind the move. And again, I just think it'll be unsustainable. And if that happens, then we'll probably again fade off from there and then come down again for this lower liquidity. And that's going to leave all the retail people saying, "Oh, well, if the Fed is lowering rates, why is the dollar getting stronger? Why is the dollar getting stronger? Why is the dollar getting stronger?" And they'll feel like they were like gypped out of something when it is really just unsustainable demand after the news event. So that's really what I foresee. I really foresee these kind of just shooting up and then just being unsustainable. And if you need like examples of that, like look at the Nasdaq again. This is the same idea. right? Where you get a news event that pushes price, and it makes all the sense in the world from a fundamental standpoint. Like the move makes all the sense in the world, but there's just not enough demand after the fact, after all the main liquidity is grabbed to sustain it. And then what you get is just this really, you know, I don't want to say choppy. It's not really choppy. This is actually pretty smooth, but a nice clean erase of that move. So I expect this kind of same thing across all dollar pairs, where we get a nice candle that moves up, probably for a day or two, and then afterwards it's just unsustainable and it kind of comes back down and corrects. So that's my expectations. We'll see what the market gives us though. We'll be live with you guys that day. We'll be live as always in the morning, but realistically, we will also be live at 2 p.m. for that news on Wednesday, because after Thursday, there probably won't be much going on. But yeah, that's all I have in terms of dollar pairs and your questions in the chat. Does anybody else have anything that they want to kind of throw in there? I know it is a pretty light week outside of the Fed news here, but I will open it up to the chat. If anybody has questions, comments, concerns, I'll rant about anything. You guys do have, my time here. But again, guys, at the end of the year, I'm trying to get more educational with you all to help you guys set up your goals for 2023 moving forward, rather than, helping you guys get in these like last end of year trades forcibly. Price will build up structure before the CPI drop. It's either a double top or a double bottom. I hope it's a build up trade. Yeah, that sounds like the way we trade, just worded a little bit different. 20 Pip Savage says, "Thank you, Fade the News. JPAL wants stronger dollar in the end, more or less." I mean, if they're fighting inflation, they don't really care about whether the dollar is strong or weak, right? The Fed's job is like the Fed doesn't exist just to make the dollar stronger. It's to find a healthy balance, right? So they don't root for a stronger or a weaker dollar. They just pull the strings that ultimately affect whether it's going to be strong or like there's times again where they're trying to pump it up because that is what makes the most sense to affect the economy in a way that is logical. Like when you have runaway inflation, you want to tighten up the money because you've added too much to the money supply, so you need to kind of tighten it up so it doesn't flow as much, which ultimately does make it stronger, right? But it's not that they're trying to make it stronger as much as they're just trying to tighten up the flow. So it's they're trying to balance a scale is what they're doing. They don't really have a preference that's solidified, right? They're not like invested in it like you'd be invested in a stock. Like you want to just go up all the time. There are times where like they purposely devalue the dollar. Did we already look at GJ? We haven't. I can go over GJ. That was actually I ended up taking a loss on GJ. For those of you guys that follow me on Instagram, I probably should have just exited this trade. Like I knew on Friday this was gonna be a dud, but I realized I mean I was also short from 169, so I really didn't care. GJ was interesting though. We did go for shorts around this point, basically after I grabbed this liquidity here. We did this and I basically held it all week last week and it did nothing all week. It was just wonderful. So we finally got this check mark. Um, And yeah, what really happened with this is it just did a load of nothing, right? So basically just ranged all week. If you guys know the way that we trade, when we do get swipes of liquidity like this, we generally speaking want to see the trade move away from our area pretty quick. So the fact that it sat here all week before breaking above this wick was already my sign that, again, I didn't have the trade I thought I did originally, right? Because the longer it sits here, the more liquidity builds up and the more liquidity it's going to go take. Um, so yeah, with this again, like at this point, once it kind of rejected off here this last time, I was like, yeah, we're probably gonna end up getting stopped out of this thing. Now kind of taking a look at it again, it built up all this additional liquidity last week. We did take that. We've kind of returned back. The question is now is like, does this high ultimately hold? You know, maybe, but again, I'm gonna wait to see what we get um, out of the news. I would probably say at this point, though, I'm really going to play this one of two ways, right? We either get a push below this level here, Right, we either get a push below this level here, which makes me kind of want to re-enter the sell bias, which means I'll probably just take the next pullback, the next cycle that I see. Or if we do continue up, I fully expect us to come take out this 169 liquidity. Right, in terms of my longer term swing, I'm basically looking at, these highs up here kind of now getting taken. Because if I already kind of lost here, I either not need to see a change of character, which is a break of structure and some high sell volume, or I needed to take out these highs and make a play off of this area, which is actually where my current sells still live from. I still have some positions from this 169, 70 area more or less. So I'm gonna be patient, see how the market responds to the Fed. If the Fed does 50 basis points, this will probably end up going bearish. Because remember, as the Fed pivots, we will expect the Bank of Japan to also pivot. So I'm going to be holding my breath on this a little bit here and kind of seeing if it wants to come up to this 169. Once we do come up to this 169, I will be interested in going short again. But in its current state, I want to get more information about, this liquidity grab. It actually happened on some pretty decent buying volume too. So that's why I'm a little hesitant to go short in it, because there was actual buying activity when we broke higher, which tells me that 169 is actually still in play. So yeah, we'll have to see again what happens here, because this break actually looks pretty valid. But again, if we do get the break of structure below here and we get an uptick in sell volume, cool. Then we'll just take the next low cycle down. We're not gonna miss the main swing by being patient. And again, moving into the holidays, stuff like that, I kind of want to just, be on my toes. Now, if you do want to go for the buy, um, yeah, I mean, I would be like super picky if I was going for a buy on this, honestly. I'd probably want to see like all of this wipes and like play below this level. Like that would be like me being super greedy though. Like that would be like maybe even like unrealistic, depending what happens on the break of that. But yeah, let's wait till after Wednesday. Let's see what the Fed does, and we'll make our longer term plan from that. Equal highs on the 4 hour for GJ. Yeah, if you're talking about this 169 level, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. How's the $3 account? The $3 account, I grew it to about 120, and then I messed it up by bringing it back down to like 50, 60. I haven't touched it since, and I will probably end up restarting it because I mean at this point again I'm done. I'm done trading, so it's like I'm either gonna just wait till after the holiday and restart it in the new year, or I'll just continue it from like the 40, 50 again after the new year. But yeah, my goal with that account is like I also don't like to have more than 50% drawdown on it. Again, because it's a $3 account, so you can't even get 50% drawdown on $3. It would actually margin call you before that. So I think that's just an important statistic of the MyFX book. So can I continue trading it? Yes. Is it going to be up to my standards? No, which is ultimately all I care about is achieving my standards. Your thought real quick on those screenshots. Yeah, let me hold on. Let me sign into the website real quick. I'm gonna have to use my little dummy account here because password's not saved. All right, let me reshare my screen over the community. So let's see who asked that. 25th Savage did. So we got some from Eric. Is that this? No, you are 25th Savage. Okay. Let's see. EU liquidity build up both sides. What are these things here? Are these sessions? Yeah, sessions. Okay. By the way, you could hit this little arrow here and it'll hide all this stuff. I deleted all of this stuff off my chart. Like you could delete these little buttons. You could delete everything off this. By the way, it really cleans up your chart in case it ever gets in your way. Just a little side note. I agree. I agree with this. But see, the thing is, again, like I mean, I don't see your clear plan, right? I see both your plans, but I imagine you kind of agree with me. But I do agree with the buy side liquidity. The sell side liquidity, again, like you can, there's other lower zones I would be looking at personally if I was gonna mark sell side liquidity. Let's see what you have on GU. Again, that top side liquidity. Again, this is just trend line liquidity. In both cases, you're expecting it to break. This is an interesting little path you have here, like a retest of the trend line, and then it wants to do break back above the trend line. That's an interesting little concept.
Yeah, I see that. The first one, hey, if it happens, it happens.
Yeah, this one's a little odd to
I
me.
like the second one though. The first one, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, that one, again, it all depends what the Fed's gonna do, though. Like, again, like you can mark out liquidity, but marking out liquidity is like nothing. I mean, like again, marking out liquidity is like marking out support and resistance. It's not gonna do anything because liquidity lives everywhere. Like, I'm gonna just be real with you guys. It's not hard to mark liquidity because you can mark anywhere on any chart above any structure point, and there's liquidity there. So it's not so much about identifying liquidity areas as much as it is why the market may or may not take out that liquidity and what the logic behind that is and what the effort behind those moves are. So just keep in mind when you're doing analysis and you're just putting liquidity there, like I'm going to treat that as just like support and resistance because again, when it's just marked alone without like an expectation or supported by volume, then it's no different than support and resistance. It's just a fancy word that people on Instagram have decided to again begin to highlight. But I do agree with a lot of these ideas. But it's going to depend on what happens with the Fed. Let's see what Eric got here real quick. EU, yeah. See, like, look, this is again. This we're all kind of on the same page. Did he just post this? Oh no, he posted this before we even got on. Yeah. So this is a beautiful chart by Eric. Again, same idea that both 20 pip Savage has. Again, he doesn't really have what he expects after the fact because you're probably not looking enough left. But nonetheless, along the same idea. And GJ, again, look, whatever, like we all see the same thing, right? We all see the 169. By the way, Eric, beautiful, beautiful call on the buy. I know that did not work out in my favor going against this, but I do hope. I know you published one. I don't know if it's the same setup. It might have even been a different setup that you had. Uh, Actually, it might be
See,
the same,
Michelle
but
said, any
nonetheless,
girls
beautiful,
that trade, let's mark up together.
you had.
Yo, Jay Swizzy, if you in the chat, definitely connect. Yo, we definitely might have to add a Lady Boss channel to the Private Society real soon. Definitely shout out to the Lady Bosses. I don't know if we could definitely do that, Skags.
We can consider it after we open. I mean, honestly, I can make it. Shout out to Foreign Pips who just dropped a chart as well. Um, I mean, honestly, I can make it so people can make their own groups, but that stuff we'll all do after launch. Um, but yeah, we could possibly get all the girls together. But yeah, there's a lot of women that trade that are connected to us, Michelle. So we'll definitely get you connected with them if you want. Because I definitely have a few that I know of as well in our community that are always showing love. So
Hell
definitely
yeah.
shout out to all the women traders that are on the call. And no lie, no offense, guys. All right, guys specifically, but all the women out there, no offense, but they do have a little bit better time trading than us guys do, right? So what I've noticed again, and this is not the case for everybody, right? Don't take this as like a law, right? It's just my observation as somebody that has helped at this point thousands of people through the market, most of which are no longer here. Um, but in my experience, guys typically have an easier time pushing the button, right? We're easier. We're like it's easier for us to get in and out of trades, like to actually push the button. But women more or less are better at what happens after they push the button or before they push the button. They're better at like the emotions, the handling of it, the risk management, the money management. They're better at that stuff. They're better at picking their lot sizes. They're better at the money management. They're better at handling the drawdown. They're better at handling the greed. But they're a little, again, in my experience, like I'm not trying to put a label on anybody, but in my experience, the women do have a harder time actually executing and pushing the button, whereas guys, we kind of, stray away from the risk management, the money management, the emotions kind of beat us up a little bit more. But we'll push that button, right? Like we got no problem pushing the button, which is probably the worst of the two. So just my experience. That's not going to fit like a glove for everybody. Obviously, we all have our individual battles, but if you were gonna put labels against both genders, that's I guess more or less from my observation what I've seen. So, the combination of trading couples, man, where you guys kind of both analyze and the guy pushes the button and the woman manages it. That's a good sweet deal.
Oh
That's
man.
why I say like whatever girl I'm with, like she gotta know how to trade because I need her to manage my stuff, man. I need her to after I push the button, like, hey, babe, let me know how that's working out, right? You keep tabs on that, you know. I'm gonna just look away. Let me know, how it's doing, and we'll find an exit.
Oh
No,
man.
no, no. I'm not gonna start an argument. I just speaking from experience, man. Like I said, it's not gonna fit
That's
like a
that
glove.
could be true, man. Honestly, I'll push the button and I'll have wifey take partials for me. That's that's the dream right
Yeah,
there.
bro, no lie. When I was working at Apple, I actually had met this woman. I went to go help her with a Mac, and like I was over there, and like she was on her phone. I was like trying to explain stuff, and like I don't care, like and I know people have what they do, but then she was like, "Oh yeah," I was like, "I'm sorry." She's like, "I'm just she was like literally checking on an oil trade that her boyfriend had took, and I was like, "Oh, you guys trade?" And like we started talking about that, and she's like, "Yeah," she's like, she's like, "He was just taking stuff." She's like, "I'm just trying to keep an eye on it, understand what he's doing." Because I guess she was like in like the learning stage. She was kind of like still new to it. But it was just like dope to see them like working as like a team. So shout
Now
out to
there's
all the
two
trading
there's two
couples out
ways.
there.
That can the thing is, who knows? Maybe she was managing them perfectly, taking partials. He has a take profit wifey, a wifey that takes profit for him. So that's
Yeah, man, teamwork makes the dream work.
that's good. Also, like, I mean, honestly, man, like, if my girl were to prove that she can definitely manage them trades, like, hell yeah, I would give her the right to do so. But what if, like, I would just be thinking sometimes, like, what if I take a trade and I'm like, yo, manage this, and then no stop loss, and that thing just gets rated
No, no,
account.
no. If you're entering the trade, you put all that in when you enter the trade.
Okay, okay, okay. So
Yeah, no, no.
she's
You
really
can't
just
take a trade and
adjusting the
have some.
stop at that
No,
point.
you can't. No, you can. No, no. They were talking. No, it's not like. And again, too, like ain't nobody touching my trades and not consulting with me first. You know.
Oh,
But
okay,
yeah,
okay, okay. So
yeah, taking
obviously there was
applications
a
in his DMs. Yeah, I'm always taking applications in my DMs, bro. Listen, you know, if you want my DMs right there, feel free to slide through. Identify as a savage. My pronouns are him, and he, him. Kyle, stay in the gym. Leave the women alone. Yeah, Kyle do stay in the gym.
Hey man, same man.
All right, let's see what foreign pips got here. All right, I don't know if this is a trade you're still in or not, because when I mark on my chart, I always put the beginning of my trade where I'm in. So if I wasn't in from right here, this is not where my thing would live. This is a 3-minute chart. Yeah, so he's probably in this. Interesting little play. Hopefully you're at break even on this. This is a little bit of a scalp play, but not too bad. Again, I don't really see. I mean, if you did truly enter here, I see what you played. You played a swipe of the lows and a return back above with the live OB. That I like. That I like. If you entered here, I'm not entirely sure what you saw. I would have been a little bit skeptical when it came down, but I have a feeling this is where you actually entered here. Looking for this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful play. I'm currently in. Partials take, yeah, beautiful. Yeah, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Again, I didn't see the time frame at first. And now when I saw the 3-minute time frame, I was like, okay, it's probably in this. But yeah, beautiful. This is where your entry really is. I love the entry. If you already secured partials and you're at break even, that I couldn't even ask for anything better out of you. So Trying to get my little shorty to trade right now. Yeah, man. Listen, put your significant others on, man. Don't be gatekeeping the skill set. Don't be gatekeeping the skill set. Ethereum thoughts? That's a good question. Let's go take a look. Let me just do a little quick refresh of the community. And shout out to those of you guys that are always active back here posting charts and stuff. I know I've been a little bit absent myself from back here. But shout out to you guys that are actually back there sharing stuff with us. I love it. I love to see it. All right, let's go take a look at Ethereum real quick. All right. Yeah, it still hasn't quite pulled back to where I want to see it go. We've been kind of patiently waiting for it to take out this smaller range here. Damn, this thing is really low volume, huh? Sheesh, Ray, and no activity on this thing. All right, so the real question is, do I think these lows will break? Probably. Last time we talked about it, it was like over here. Yeah, I'm probably still gonna wait for this little range to break here. I still think ultimately what I want to do is wait until we break below this. And then once we break below this and close back above, that's probably when I'll look to go long again. There's just really no buying activity happening, so I doubt these lows hold. I'd be surprised. So yeah, let's see if we can get a nice move down below here. Again, this could happen off the backbone of the Fed news, which would be preferable. Now, again, if they come out with 50 basis point hikes, this thing is gonna wherever it's gonna go from, it's gonna go up, guaranteed. If it comes out at 50, and this will probably be pretty sustainable. This and indices will be more sustainable than things like EU and GU. But I probably look for like an entry, down here, then continue up. I still do believe, I'm still a firm believer that a lot of these have either seen or are damn close to their climax lows. I mean, Bitcoin, I'm pretty sure has, as far as I can tell, it's just hit some pretty climax lows. So, yeah, on both of these, I'm probably looking at, yeah, even if this does, I don't even need this to go down and take this range. I just need this to come down here and close back above. We're buying this thing all day long, all day long. So yeah, that's what I see on these. I do have some buys on Ethereum. I do. Not at the greatest entries, but I do. Can you speak on psychology when it comes to swing trading? I'm a day trader, but want to be more of a swing trader. Well, you're asking the right person. And I'll tell you what, man, it's not even really the psychology. It's not even really the psychology. I would say it's not, because psychology would be like the mental battle that you're having within, right? And what it really is like it's patience, and I wouldn't really put patience in the category of psychology. Because patience is just a discipline. It's just a discipline. It's not like a mental battle. It's just you either have patience or you don't. Um, it's not like it's emotionally affecting you. It might give you things like anxiety, which is more psychological, or you have to work through that. But like patience itself, like time is gonna pass no matter what. So there's two things you can do, right? That's gonna make your life way easier in swing trading. One, that's paying yourself. Don't try to swing trade a full position, right? Don't try to swing trade a full position. Because if you're trying to swing trade a full position, you're always like your anxiety is going to be higher because anytime it starts to pull back or come back against you, you're like, oh, well, if this comes all the way back to my break even, I'm gonna make no money. It was all in this trade. I was up this much. I was like, then it's gonna start sinking in. Like, oh, I was up $500. I was up $1,000, but like now I'm only up 80. I'm only up 20, and it's like that's gonna just discourage you over and over and over. So you have to get into the psychology of being able to, book partials, right? Pay yourself, because then it will be easier to hold the rest. This is why the first time I exit a position, I take 30% of my trade, right? Because that allows me to say, okay, cool. Like if this does come back, at least I paid myself a little something. So paying yourself is like key. It's key of swings. Like if you look at all these swings that I'm in, like I've been holding this EU trade for what's literally probably now 2.5 months, 43 days, about a month and a half. Yeah, about a month and a half. We took it like 2 CPIs ago. And again, this is because I paid myself on it, right? So like being able to handle this pullback here, which like basically erased like 80% of my profits, is because I had already paid myself 30% on that. So it's easier for me to hold knowing that I've already put something in my pocket. Another thing that you can do, and this is probably something that you guys not heard before. So if you've never heard this before, drop a 2 in the chat. But if you've never heard this before, the best thing to do if you want to swing trade a position and you're scared you're going to mess it up is just log out of your MT4. Just log out of that account. Like literally just go into MT4, go to add account, add a new demo account, and literally just swipe over on your live account and delete it. That's it. Just make sure your stop loss, your break even is in there, and log out. Because if you can't see it, I mean, like I get it. You're gonna go on TradingView. You're gonna open up another account. You're gonna keep looking at it, but you can't immediately go in. It becomes harder to actually go in and make that adjustment, right? It's gonna be harder to actually go through and be like, okay, let me like panic exit this position, because you have to go in and you have to log in first, right? So that's like another thing you can really do is just kind of log out. And that's how I trained myself, right? The person that kind of like, talked me into holding long term and doing all that stuff is, my boy Clay. And that was the advice he gave me. He's like, bro, just log out of this account. He's like, we're just going to hold this trade. And that's what allowed me to hold my first swing position for like 8 months was on gold. And that's because he was like, bro, just log out. He's like, because if you can't see it, you can't edit it. And if you can't edit it, you can't make the mistake of panic exiting or anything like that. Um, you can always open up another trading account on the same broker. Just open up another little account, move some money into it and let the other swing trade do what it's got to do. Because I know you're going to want to push the button. You want to be doing this, you want to be doing that. But just put money into a different account, log out of that other one. That would be my best advice to you, bro. So, yeah, hopefully that helps you, my guy. Definitely want to see you guys holding positions longer. It's a lot easier to trade on the longer term side of things. Let's see what we got in the chat here, because you guys went crazy on answering that for him. Knox, we moving soon, bro. I need my island. It's a fact, bro. We all need that island. So it depends on your pocket. If not, if you need the money or not, yeah, that too. That too. It depends on why you trade. If you trade for like immediate money, it becomes a lot harder to swing trade because you feel like you want to make money in a day or two and you want to be able to withdraw. And the truth is, you can't really trade like that unless you have good equity. So if you're on a small account, that's just a terrible decision to begin with. But yeah, it really depends on, again, what your situation is like. That's a good point, Eric. My strategy is to only enter and break a structured momentum in the general flow of the market, 35th stop loss. Yeah, everybody's got their way. It's not a bad idea. Again, bro, I'm not here to judge nobody's trading plan, man. How you guys trade is dependent on what the time available you have in a day, the logic you subscribe to, the time frames that you trade, how you want to manage your money. Most traders are not in good financial situation, which causes them to have a hard time holding. I would say, I wouldn't say most traders are not in good financial situations. I've met plenty of traders who are perfectly fine financial situations when they start. They just want more or freedom. It's a dangerous assumption. If I started all over again, would you go to a prop firm or your own capital? Thanks, and it's sis. Oh, my bad. My bad. My bad. I couldn't tell from the TW Barker, but I got you. I'm gonna remember that. I'm gonna remember that. If I was to start all over again, I would probably go. I'd probably go prop firm. Yeah, I'd probably go prop firm. At least to start, because again, unless you have, 2,000-3,000, like your own capital is like almost not worth it. You could do a lot with a little. Trust me, I'm a living testament to that. You could do a lot with a little. I've done an amazing things with a little. But if you want to trade properly and not like super high risk like that, yeah, it's way smarter to go prop firm first, build up your capital, and then go over. What's gold looking like? I could show you the path on gold again. Yeah, all dollar pairs are going to be very similar, but we're looking at something like this, pending what the Fed is going to do. Not trading for the immediate capital stuff helped my mental ability to swing trade. Yeah, yeah. You still riding that EU reap? Oh, I love to hear it. Or no, that might be your silver trade, 1025. Yeah, that might be your silver trade. That boy reap. The fact that you even have two trades that are possibly long term that I'm getting confused, that just makes me so proud. In just general, bro. It's been amazing to see your growth. But yeah, family. Any other final questions? Anything else you guys want to go over before we kind of wrap up tonight's stream? Kyle, you got anything you want to say real quick, bro? How you feeling over there?
Honestly, not really, bro. I think we've been on here for about, almost an hour and a half. I feel like, we have the bias set for the week. Let's see what we can get in the markets. Let's see if we can have some more data to kind of back up this bias that we have. And I think we will be back on Tuesday. Honestly, that's it for me. For all of you guys, we would appreciate if you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, stay tapped in with us, be ready for Tuesday. Make sure you guys have an account on the private society. And also, for any of you guys that are looking or interested in becoming an affiliate, right? Once we do launch to the public in January of 2023, and we have our VIP rooms and we have our VIP groups and our premium memberships, there will be an affiliate opportunity for you guys that are affiliate marketers that would like to go ahead and put people on to this amazing community. Let's say you have friends or family members that are looking to learn how to trade and become the best versions of themselves in 2023. New year, new me. You can plug them in with me, myself, and the gang, and we will be sure to take care of them and also take care of you as an affiliate, right? So, if any of you guys are interested in that, feel free to DM the Profit Society Instagram at profitsociety.co. Let us know you're interested in becoming an affiliate. We will add you to our private Profit Society affiliate chat. This thing is absolutely bumping. Honestly, we also got a lot of people that are getting a lot more value and a lot more access to us. You guys are going to be able to help build this thing out from the forefront with us. And, you guys will be rewarded when this thing gets to 1 billion. So, I promise you guys that. Honestly, Skags, that's it for me. Anything else from you, bro?
I just want to address some of these final questions in chat real quick. Somebody said, "Would you ever rent a Bloomberg terminal?" Typically that's more money than I want to spend on a news terminal. Since I'm a rumor trader, I'm kind of leading the market in terms of news anyway. So, like, would it benefit me? Yeah, probably. I mean, the end of the day, if you have the income to do it, and you're set up correctly, it could even be a write off against some of your profits. So in that case, like, yeah, absolutely, why not? But a lot of you probably don't necessarily need it. But if you're really trying to take your level, you're into the next level and get things a little bit earlier, then yeah, the Bloomberg terminal can absolutely help. Your state of mind determines the opportunities that you see, don't see. Absolutely true. Your
You know,
angels,
it's
thank you,
funny,
bro. We
Skags.
appreciate
I
you.
think I think me and Jordan Echo had got that Bloomberg terminal one time. I don't think we ended up like fully using it, but like, it was cool. It definitely was cool.
Yeah, the only time I had access to it was when Sean had access to it, and then he would always be sending us to stuff from it, and we'd use it every now and then. We're trading together. Again, like it's not bad, but it's
It's nothing
again it's
crazy. It's really
yeah
nothing
for
crazy.
most people it's gonna be marginally no different. Like unless you're actively always at your charts doing a lot of trading, and especially if you're more like into the stocks game, like it could be a lot more useful. But yeah, for the vast majority, it's probably not needed. Does trading income get taxed differently to other forms of income? Trading gets taxed as capital gains if you're in the United States. Most of what you do here will be taxed as short term. Um, Again, they'll consult your CPAs and all that fun stuff because, again, depending where you live and how you're structured, it's going to be different for you. But yeah, it's not considered what's earned
It's
income.
usually capital gains
Yeah, it's always yeah. But
unless you
again,
go
people, I
through
mean,
an LLC. Like if you
yeah, but it's still capital gains. It's not
still
it's
is,
not
yeah,
different.
technically, yeah. But it is better if you withdraw to an LLC. I can tell you that. But yeah,
Well,
at the
yeah,
end,
you get more benefits and write-offs. But again, just consult your CPAs, guys. That's anything regarding taxes is not a question for us. Your best advice for bouncing back from your biggest loss. Uh, yeah, realign yourself. However that resonates with you. For me, that's tapping into like my hermetic principles and whatnot, and kind of like realigning my mind and getting back to a state of neutralization. For you, that might mean realigning your chakras or something. Like I don't know, but just like clear your mind is like the real answer. Step away, realign, revisit your rules, your trading plan, find out what caused you to have your biggest loss. Was it biggest loss dollar wise and it wasn't that bad percent? Because sometimes that happens too. Sometimes you're just now trading with more capital, so like your losses will naturally be larger. That's not the same thing as taking like a giant equity hit. Right, losing $1,000 because you're now in $100,000 account rather than a $50,000 account is not the same thing as losing 10% instead of your normal 2%. So you also got to define what you mean by biggest loss. Is it a percent loss or is it like a capital loss? Because if it's just a capital loss and the percent is not your highest, then chances are you should just brush it off. But if it's a percent loss, then yeah, you should probably realign yourself. Just Anderson, you're not the only one that went through this. Yeah, that's a fact. How or what will people use without MT4 when it does get to that point? It won't get to that point. MT4 is getting phased away. MT4 probably will not return back to the App Store. 95% of your brokers will be switching to MT5, and MT5 will be the one that gets relisted back to the App Store. So MT4, as far as we see it on both iOS and probably even the Google Play Store, will be going away. Most brokers in the back end are upgrading everything to go to MT5. A lot of the brokers that are not going to go to MT5 and don't want to buy a new license for MT5 will be phased away. So if your broker disappears, that is why. But yeah, fully expect that throughout 2023. A lot of brokers will disappear, and the ones that don't will be moving to MT5. So just kind of keep that
that's true
in
because
the back of
of
your head.
these potential liquidity issues that are
No,
happening.
it's not even that. It's just it's something to do with meta quotes. I don't want to get into it, you guys. Basically, what if you ever wondered why there's so many forex brokers? It's because people are able to quote unquote white label them, which means you could just buy a broker from a company that sells brokers. MetaQuotes is tired of that because that means less people buy actual licenses to their platforms. So they're getting rid of what they call like a multi-license agreement that they have. So brokers will have to now go to MetaQuotes directly to get a license, and they're only selling licenses for MD5. So it's on MetaQuotes side. It's a way for MetaQuotes to increase their revenue because they're getting screwed right now on white label brokers. But yeah, again, that's just insider little secrets. I let you guys trade from TradingView because I don't use a broker that is supported to trade right
Yeah,
on
you have to
TradingView.
have a certain broker to do that. So I mean,
Yeah, so unless you're using a regulated broker, that's not going to happen. I do trade in unregulated offshore territory. But yeah, family, listen, that's all we got. So with that, we're going to shut this stream down. We definitely appreciate you guys. If you guys are not signed up to ProfitSociety.co, make sure you guys go grab your free beta account. We're about to crack 1,000 members, so shout out to you guys that are active in the community. Absolutely free. We
facts.
will be launching in 2023. But that's all I got for you, family. It's your boy Skag. I'm tuning out, and we will see you guys on the live trading sessions.
Appreciate you guys. We tuning out. Go ahead and tag us on the gram at BuyScag and Kyle Hustles. If you guys got some value today, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Let's continue to rock out.